The Biden administration is at it again at trying to go after our firearms, our rights, not just braces now, not just frames and receivers or magazines. This is a much bigger problem, and they're going to be a lot more aggressive here soon. So the Biden administration is now working on making a new office called the Gun Violence Prevention Office. Let's go ahead and discuss this in further detail. Before we do that, if you are not subscribed and you find my content helpful or useful or enjoyable, or you're just feeling nice today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like, comment, share. Those things help the channel a ton. One of the sponsors of the channel and a big supporter here is Brownells. You can use code TA10 to save 10% on orders $150 or more. I highly recommend you take advantage of that and save a lot of money on some really cool projects like the ones behind me. So let's get right into this video. I try to make these videos as simple as possible without going too crazy in legal jargon, because sometimes that can be really confusing and I get super confused. Sometimes it's just easier to use plain English and explain kind of what's going on to keep you guys updated for those of you that want to know kind of where things are at. So as you know, they've been going after the pistol braces really hard. I've been keeping you guys updated with that. Frames and receivers. They just recently went after private party sales. If you guys are interested in that video, click there. I'll be linking some other videos as well for if you guys are interested after this video to watch them. I highly recommend you do and keep up to date with the different things they're going after, the injunctions with the pistol brace rules and all those things. It's just really kind of confusing, honestly, and kind of hard to keep up to date for me as well, as I'm trying to make these videos and also trying to keep myself up to date. But they're now going that next step further. And like I said in the previous videos, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop after the pistol brace thing. They're not going to stop after the frames and receivers. Whether they win or lose those things, they're going to continue to try. And this is proof of that. The fact that they just made this new office. This is going to be a new position basically created that's going to be going after our rights. Just another reason to go after them. And they're going to disguise it as, okay, we're going to be trying to assist with gun violence. I think we're all well aware of what this is going to actually be. And they're going to be working with the ATF to go after more gun control and finding new ways to do that. I mentioned trying to go around the red tape with Congress, because that is really something that holds a lot of this stuff up, is because the lawsuits and the court systems and all of that is just so hard to keep track of, but it really holds a lot of this stuff up and prevents them from being able to just implement a lot of this stuff. And then of course you have the Second Amendment and things like that that really help us as well. But you have some great foundations like the Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, and a handful of other ones that, so there's just a lot of names. I'll put them here in the bottom so that you can donate to, and they've been doing really good at trying to fight for our rights and implementing the injunctions. And obviously I've mentioned before, I think it's ridiculous. You have to pay to play, basically pay to be able to get your rights. And I don't think it's right, and I don't agree with it, but at least they're there to do that, opposed to the fact that we just won't have the rights. At least we kind of have the ability to do this while we try to fight it in court and don't just lose our rights in the long legal process while we're waiting for the actual final ruling. So what does this mean for you in the future? So right now, obviously it's at the beginning stages of this and they're implementing this stuff. So right this second, we're probably not going to see anything big. Just be prepared, because I guarantee you that they're going to be a lot more strict in enforcing these rules. They're going to create more rules. Now that they have an office more dedicated to this, they're going to be creating a lot more rules and being a lot more strict and trying to be a lot more aggressive with this. So just so you're aware, this isn't where it ends. The pistol brace thing isn't the final straw. The frames and receivers, again, it doesn't matter if we win those. It's going to keep going. They're going to keep finding something else to go after until something sticks. And once that sticks, they're going to go off of that and go off to the next thing. So it's not just a one and done. There's little battles in the war, but the war is not over yet. And I don't see it being over anytime soon because they're going to continue to go after this. So it's a continued fight. A lot of you might be thinking to yourself, well, what can I do? There's really not much I can do at this point, so I guess we'll see what happens. And there are some things that you can do. You can contact your congressman when there's the letters that you got to send, and make sure you send a well thought out letter on why you disagree with this and why it goes against the Second Amendment or whatever we're discussing at the time. Make sure you discuss that and articulate it well in a letter. And it's frustrating because it's angering that you should have to do that, and I agree, and I don't think it's right that we should have to type out every time something like this happens why it goes against our amendments or whatever, but it is important. You can donate to these foundations that are fighting for our rights and doing things that we necessarily can't do. Like, I don't have the resources to sue these people and stay up to date and continue to fight these battles, but what I can do is fund the people that are doing that. Obviously, it's not a requirement. I'm not paid by any of these companies. I don't work for any of these companies, so do what you want with it. You can not do any of those things, and you can just kind of sit back and see what happens, but if something happens, just know that you really didn't do anything. So try to do your best to get out of the mindset of, it's not my problem, there's nothing I can do about it, let's just ride it out, and more on the mindset of, okay, no, this is our problem, and let's figure out a way to do something about it. Because if this continues to get farther, mark my words, these behind me are going to be no more. We're not going to be able to have the luxury of having them. And it might not be this year, it might not be next year, it might not be within 10 years, but I have young children and I want a world that they can grow up in and be safe in. And I think that firearms is one way that they can be safe. Because there's a lot of violence out there, there's a lot of bad people out there. And you might hear this a lot, but firearms are an equalizer. I have 2 boys and I have a daughter. I'm gonna teach my boys and daughter how to defend themselves properly, but having a firearm is absolutely an equalizer and sometimes gives you that leg up that you might need. So I'm gonna fight for everything I can to prevent any more of this stuff happening and try to keep our rights where they're at and where they belong. If you guys are looking to help out the channel, things I do here is a couple ways to do that down in the description. There are some discount codes from companies that I personally trust that you can use, save some money, and there is a link to my link tree. Anything you use using those links does help out the channel. If not, liking, sharing, subscribing, being interactive in the comments is always great and I appreciate it. Don't love doing these videos because obviously they're never usually great news, but it's important, I think, and it's been well received. I think you all enjoy these types of videos, me kind of keeping you guys updated. Put in the comments if you do or don't. I love constructive criticism. Can't even talk right now. But I always appreciate that insight from you. A couple of the companies that support me on the channel and things I do here are Howitzer, Brownells, and Hold Up Display. Hold Up Display makes these amazing racks in the vault room. If you're interested in that room, take a look here in the video. And then Howitzer donates 5% of proceeds to charity, and they donate over $2 million, and they make amazing apparel. I love their stuff. I love their shoes, jeans, pants, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, everything, hats. They have a ton of stuff on their website. So always changing all their designs. And then Brownells, use code TA10 to save 10% off orders $150 or more. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all.